In the early 1990s, an unsettling phenomenon began to spread across the UK. Families in different towns reported encounters with strangers who came to their doors claiming to be social workers. These visitors would arrive in pairs, dressed in plain, professional clothing, with expressions that were disturbingly detached, almost like they were wearing masks. They spoke with a chillingly practiced calm, asking invasive questions about the children in the household, and sometimes even tried to push their way inside, insisting it was a routine welfare check. The encounters were all eerily similar. A knock at the door, a man and a woman standing on the doorstep, clipboards in hand. They introduced themselves as social workers, sent to check on the welfare of the children. The questions would start innocently enough: names, ages, school routines. But soon the questions turned uncomfortably specific. Are the children well fed? Do they spend time alone? Do they ever go outside without you?
Are the children well fed?
Parents described a growing unease, as if these strangers were probing for something hidden, something they could sense but not quite see. When parents asked for identification, the strangers would hesitate, producing ID cards that looked fake, almost as if they were placeholders. Pressed further, they'd offer flimsy excuses. The real IDs were in the car, or weren't necessary for a simple check. If a parent became insistent, the pair would abruptly leave, claiming they'd return later with the proper paperwork. But they never did. The pattern repeated across the UK, with encounters reported in both quiet villages and busy cities. Descriptions of the strangers were uncannily consistent, their voices too rehearsed, their smiles forced. The woman's stare was often described as unnervingly intense, almost as if she was studying something beyond the parent. One father even recalled a strange smell in the air, like something faintly metallic, just before he closed the door. Authorities were baffled. When contacted, local social services offices confirmed that no such visits had been scheduled and that no one had been sent to these homes. The reports continued, the encounters so similar that officials couldn't dismiss them as isolated incidents. An investigation was launched, but the police found no trace of these imposters. They came and went like shadows, leaving families with a lingering sense of dread and no answers. Some began to compare the phantom social workers to other bizarre phenomena. The mysterious black-eyed children, for instance, who are said to appear at the doors of unsuspecting homeowners, asking to be let in with a strange persistence. Both the black-eyed children and the phantom social workers share an almost otherworldly detachment, a scripted manner, and an uncanny ability to vanish without a trace. Then there are the legends of the Green Children of Woolpit. Just as the Green Children were found in the 12th century, seemingly from another world and out of sync with those around them, the phantom social workers seem to operate according to a different set of rules, as if they were following instructions from a place beyond our reality. Both stories involve strangers who appear out of nowhere, with no clear origin or purpose, leaving behind more questions than answers. Theories ran wild. Some speculated that the phantom social workers were part of a kidnapping ring, scouting children with meticulous detail for reasons that remain unknown. Others wondered if they were part of a government experiment, testing new methods of surveillance or control. And then there were those who believed these figures weren't human at all, that they were something else, masquerading as human, studying us in ways we couldn't understand. Despite the quiet investigation, The sightings eventually stopped, fading as mysteriously as they began. No one fitting the descriptions was ever found, and no answers came. The phenomenon of the phantom social workers remains one of the UK's most chilling unsolved mysteries. A story that lingers, reminding us that sometimes even those who claim to help may be hiding motives far darker than we can see.